Hey everybody, welcome again to the GGRated.net live show. This is episode number 20, and I'm your host, the Iceman. Joining us once again, and always, is our good friend Hydra. How are you doing, Hydra?
Yeah, doing good. Checking the stream at the moment to see if it's rolling, and yes, it is.
Awesome. Also joining us today, maybe we can consider him a special guest since been gone for so long now, but we have our good friend Sebastian, all the way back from the DreamHack Summer event, which was completely epic, as he was describing to us earlier, and he's going to have plenty to share with us. So, Sebastian, welcome back. Great to have you on the show. How you doing?
Thank you, Iceman and Hydra. I have missed you guys. I've been very busy, and last weekend I was more than busy. But hell, it is good to be back. It is almost as good as having casted Huck beating Moon live at DreamHack. So, very happy to be here indeed, Iceman.
Awesome. Um,
Let me just help you out fixing.
Rattling away.
Yeah, let me just help you fixing out these things. I find on my side the volume for me and Sebastian really loud, and yours fairly low.
Oh, mine's
And
really low? Okay.
it's not really low. I can if I raise the volume, I can hear you just
How about
loud
now?
and clear.
Much
But
better now?
I don't know. Let me check because
it out.
me and Sebastian were sounding like we were screaming. Let
Oh,
me
really?
see. Try it
Check
now.
it out right now and see if it's any better. If not, I guess we can restart and adjust the mic level.
No,
Because I
it's
did.
better.
Much
It is
better?
better.
Is it
It
fine
is
now?
better. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you just fine. It's cool.
Okay,
Go for
good.
it. And wallpaper. I want my favorite wallpaper from DreamHack there, please, by the way.
Yes, I will get that up just as soon as possible. But
Cool.
yeah, Sebastian, why don't you tell us a little bit about what went on? I mean, I guess just set it up for everybody who didn't pay attention to what was happening and didn't hear about how you were going to go to this DreamHack event. But just tell everybody really quick about what your duties were and what you were doing over there. And then once we get to the DreamHack topic, we'll get into it more thoroughly.
Well, I went to DreamHack to cast the grand final, only the grand final for national Swedish television, and in Swedish it should be said. So me and my co-caster called Ominous, he's basically the only guy known for doing commentary in Swedish. We got this offer by this production company that was indeed really cool, who we made a very thorough production about Counter-Strike, Bloodline Champions, Quake World, Quake Live, and Starcraft 2, and that was indeed the most anticipated game. Without going into the details of who won and that, we had 100,000 live viewers, or around that figure, watching the Swedish stream as Huck and Moon faced each other in the grand final. And as I'm sure everybody watching will be aware, that was indeed an epic final beyond compare. And I think esports took a huge leap forward because of what took place there. And I am just honored and nerd happy to have been there.
Awesome. Yeah, it's from what I watched, the event was just epic, 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 epic. And I mean, I'm so jealous that I couldn't have been there. I can only imagine what the energy and the electricity in the air must have been like for that event, especially for the finals. But let's save that chat for later, and let's focus on the stuff we have at hand. I guess we should go over the GSL Super Tournament final that just took place. And
Choose the one you prefer to start to open the hostilities, and we go from there.
I say let's go for GSL, and let's build up to the finals with the DreamHack event. Save the best
Go
for
for
last.
it. Yeah.
All right, as you guys might have known, if you guys were paying attention to the Super Tournament, we actually had the grand finals take place. And Hydra, I know you definitely watched that. What's your thoughts on that as I get the VOD rolling here?
Oh, I don't know what to say. It wasn't the best finals ever. We already had better. It was a TVT, fairly short one, actually. That already happened in the past, as you guys know. But I was a bit disappointed with the fact that it was so short. Ended up with a 4-0. And on one side, it was surprising because I wasn't waiting or hoping for Polt Prime to take the win there, especially over such a beast as MMA. But apparently MMA didn't had what it takes to resist Polt Prime, and Polt Prime was just on top of his game. His TVT was fine-tuned, and he went for a very aggressive style. I mean, with exception to, I think, game 2, all of the rest of the games were fairly short, and it was a 4-0. There wasn't even any resistance from MMA. Just Polt Prime got there, crushed them, got out, give me the money, thank you, everyone have fun, and that was done. Obviously, it's disappointing on the side of the viewer side because you're waiting and sitting there hoping for an epic matchup, at least the best out of 7, and all of a sudden you have one of the players trampling the other one 4-0, and it is a bit shocking. I was hoping for a close call there, and actually I didn't get it. Congrats to Polt Prime, but MMA disappointed me. It's all I have to say. I was actually surprised. I know he's a solid player. Everyone already seen him play, and all of the sudden he didn't have what it takes to defeat Polt Prime on that specific situation. Let me just add the comment that to reinforce what I just said, Polt Prime went for a really aggressive style. He was just on the ball every time MMA committed a mistake. He was just right there to punish him, and it paid off. So congrats to Polt Prime, and $100,000, 100 million won for him. Good amount, I would say.
Yeah, I was actually, I would say, just as surprised as you were, Hydra, because with the recent success and popularity, I mean, we've seen MMA taking just about every piece of headline news possible. MLG victory, Slayers in the team battle, Slayers won, and MMA was one of the showcase superstars there. And then just seeing him get swept up here 4-0 by none other than Polt Prime. As you said, I was a bit shocked myself. It just seemed that MMA didn't show up to this event. I don't know what had happened. Maybe he's weary from his travels and all the events that he's been winning, and he thought that he's going to give Polt Prime a little bit of love here and let him take the victory. But, man, 4-0 was really shocking for me. And I don't know. It was a quick series, Terran versus Terran, as you said, so mirror matchup. Some people don't really like to watch mirror matchups. I think Terran versus Terran is one of the... I don't know, it can be an exciting mirror matchup, but in this case, as you said, Polt Prime was very aggressive. His strategies were go straight for MMA's throat and just go for the early victory as soon as possible. And I don't know, a little bit of a lackluster finals, I would say.
Yeah, it paid off for Polt Prime, obviously. A surprise for me as well, like I was saying. And yeah, it leaves you a bit of a feeling of disappointment, especially because this GSL Championship, this Super Tournament, actually had some pretty nice series in the past, and you were able to see players that you're usually not able to see because they're not on Code S or not even in Code A on some situations, and find out about gamers that are there on the verge of actually having success, but fighting their way through that Code A hell to get a spot and a little bit of spotlight onto him. Just from the top of my head, obviously, Linok for you, but more specifically, Zenex Line, who I never heard about before, and the guy just played brilliantly. Very good results for him. And we ended up having better events, better series in the past, better matchups than these finals, and it is a bit disappointing. I mean, when you get to this point of the tournament, you just think that, oh my god, this is going to be the most epic clash ever. After all the cool games that we watched before, this is going to be the finest ever. And well, it wasn't like that, at least not for me. Had some interesting points, obviously. Every game has some interesting technical points and strategies for us to evaluate, but it was too short and didn't felt like a final.
Yeah. Sebastian, any thoughts on the players who participated, and especially the, I guess, upsetting one-sided win by Polt Prime over MMA, as just thinking about the players at hand?
Well, I must admit that due to preparations and deliberations of DreamHack, I didn't watch the final, but of course I paid attention to the tournament earlier, and I say it was a very nice addition to the ordinary format we see from the GSL. I really commend them for all the extra layers they're adding on top of their format, and we saw some good games out of it. But speaking of the finals, I must say that even top-level Starcraft can sometimes provide relatively disappointing results. We were very lucky at DreamHack when we got such a truly epic matchup and finals, and just how every game progressed into another, and we reached the full 5th game of the best of 5 series. This had just the same epic magnitude, but it turned out to be not so awesome an event. And that's just the way the cookie bounces, to mix up my metaphors. And better luck next time. I read the other day here, I got the newsletter from the GSL that they are again revamping their format. There will be 1 day of Code A, 2 days of Code S, 2 days of GSTL action. They completely rearranging how they're broadcasting things, and I applaud them for all the things they're doing, but sometimes you're going to end up with a mirror matchup where a supposed master is jet lagged or has stomach sickness and gets owned. Part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see the next finals be more epic, and I'm really interested to see how the GSL format, as you said, they're switching up the format here. They're changing the layers, the way the matches. You're gonna have GSL Code A 1 day, Code S the other, GSTL the other day. I really hope that they find out the best format and they'll settle on something more cemented, so we can see a more rigid format. But it'll be interesting to see the developments as they happen, and we'll be looking forward to the next Code S finals.
Let me just add just a little note for anyone interested. At the same time that these finals were going on, you already had the video available, and it was played on the same event as kind of like a sideshow. They had an event called the LG Cinema 3D Game Festival, and the final was played before the finals of this GSL Super Tournament. And on this side event that had several names that are not as well known, the finals were between SC4U, which is fairly well known of the community, a Terran player, quite solid one, facing against one of the new Zergs on the rise, Dong Raigu. I don't know if you guys already heard this name, but the finals from this side event, in my opinion, were much more interesting than the other ones from the Super Tournament. We had the very intense ZVT there, very back and forth, really cool battle. And if anyone missed that, just sit down and watch it because it's worth it. Some really cool battles between Dong Raigu, one of the Zergs that is starting to rise on the Korean scene, and SC4U, who is one of the well-known Terrans playing already on the GSL. Take a look at it.
Definitely. I will be looking into that video when I have some time. But shall we move on from GSTL topic or GSL topics to more current events at hand?
Yes.
Really quick before we dive into DreamHack, you guys want to discuss the Homestory Cup III that's going to be starting up tomorrow.
We could do that.
This is something that's going to be really awesome, especially with all the players that just participated in the DreamHack Summer event, and they're hot off the press, so to speak. And the lineup of players is just humongous. I mean, it's like we have DreamHack one day, and then we have a smaller in-house DreamHack event the next day following that. So we're just being completely spoiled here. And as you can imagine, the excitement and the party going on in the house where all these players are staying in is going to just be epic. Hydra and I were just discussing the player list and the shenanigans that are going on over there. I mean, we're going to have MC and Idra being in the same place. Danger. I mean, MC MC has been demoralizing.
Huck is there.
Yeah, Huck is there too. I mean, we got all kinds of players here. I mean, we can go over the player list here. I have it posted up on screen.
Just get the Noctagon. Come on.
Yeah. But this is going to be something that I'm going to follow very closely because I really like these sort of indie-style homebrew type events, I guess you could say, where it's a completely in-house LAN event, so people are not going to be complaining about the lag issues. And it's going to be broadcasted on the ESL website, and you can pick up an HD pass for I'm not exactly sure how much, but they have a low quality stream for free, so I'm going to be checking that out. But man, epic! Just look at the player list. Any favorites for you guys that you can spot here?
Sebastian, go.
Well, if I ever was less of a Huck fan, I'm really hoping that the little Brotos can continue his winning streak and place top 3 at the very least, if not win the whole thing. That would surely amplify his already huge ego, but it would also create a success story that would be very good for the sport as a whole. Have a superstar, because as long as he wins, he will be our greatest name, and when he starts falling, that will render even more press. So I really hope he takes it down. Other than that, I must say that really hope the Grandpa Toss makes it big.
Yes.
But if I need to say anything more controversial, I'm actually hoping for my countryman MYM Sase to do good, because I did meet him, and I will feature him, and Haida will help me out with that in coming casts. So he's a big name that I really hope will shine in this tournament, Sase.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hydra, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was just taking a look at the groups here on the stream to see which group I would consider the death group, and I'm not sure, but I was looking at Group G: Naniwa, Bishu, Dimag, and Tarsan, all on the same group. Fairly solid, but I mean the group seemed pretty even out, pretty balanced, and this is going to be very interesting. I'm not sure if everyone knows this Homestory Cup starts tomorrow, the 23rd. And it will last for quite a while. I think it's till the 26th. And it has a tremendous lineup. Most players, they were playing on DreamHack just now, and they went down south to Germany to stay on Take Sen's house. I could hear today on Huck on his stream, he was playing around, and you can hear everyone making noise on the background. You could hear TLO making noise, and MC and other people making noise there. So I'm assuming he has plenty of players around that house and staying there to play, which will avoid lag issues as well, obviously. I also knew that Idra is going to stay there, so another North American player that's not going to be suffering from any lag issues. But like you said, I mean, it's a lot of superstars concentrated on the same spot. This is going to be very interesting to follow. I think that this shouldn't be missed at all. And I'm kind of rooting for Whitera for some reason, though there's a big lineup here. I mean, you have Thorzain, Idra, MC, Naniwa. There's huge players. Maybe Whitera or Demago would be the ones I'll be rooting for. But this is clearly something that I'm going to sit down and watch it. Also, an honorable mention to what Sebastian was saying, to his conterranean Sasa. As you guys know, he's been on the rise. He's been doing very well. Apparently, and if I'm not mistaken, he won that Swedish tournament that was the Road to Korea. And if I'm not mistaken, the prize would be to be able to stay 1 month in Korea to try his luck on the GSL. So maybe we're going to see and hear more of him in the future there. Still, what can I say? I mean, after the DreamHack is just a way of keeping us pumped, and let's see if Huck can maintain his streak, because as you guys know, on Starcraft 2, it's hard to stay on the top. Like, the King of the Hill never stays on the top of the hill for long. And we've seen that with MC. He's been starting to get hit and shot down by several players now. And Huck now is on the top. He won the DreamHack. Well deserved. He played just tremendously well there. But let's see how far he can go on this Homestory Cup. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, some reason I'm also rooting for Whitera. I'm not even sure why. It's just, I guess, the fanboy in me, and just seeing him do so well in DreamHack, the Invitational, where he went all the way to the finals and lost to MC, and then going undefeated in the group stages in DreamHack Summer event. I mean, just seems like it's due time for Whitera to get a nice, well-deserved victory here. I just love watching him play, and Grandpa Toss, I mean, he's been around forever. It's just awesome to watch him. But another player I'm going to be also looking out for is Rhett. I'm interested to see how Rhett is going to do, because he also performed very well at DreamHack, and I would love to see Rhett just get red hot again and just go crazy.
Well, on that note, I must say that Rhett himself, I did talk to him after the event, and he felt very upset with himself and confessed that he finds it problematic to practice, to motivate himself in the right way of practicing. I think Rhett is one of those guys who is quite erratic, but he has a lot of ability, and that's why he's taking 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards most of the time, but he has the strength at some times. So if he can feel he's got the wind in his sails, so to speak, then he can dominate. But he is definitely the sort of the wild card because he is unstable by nature, and sometimes that's a storm, and sometimes that's just bad for him.
Right. Well, I mean, especially in the group that he's in, Rhett, Jimpo, Sake, and Adele Scott, I think he has the potential to do very well in that group, and then, as you said, be the wild card, I guess, sort of in this tournament. And I'm going to keep my eye on him, and I really want to see how well he does. I mean, among other players, but I'm just, as you're mentioning, Rhett is one of those volatile type of players, so I'm interested to see how he performs there. But yeah, Homestory Cup 3, guys, it's going to be awesome. It's more like a DreamHack, kind of like a wind down event, I guess.
Yeah, it's an after party.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're gonna talk about the DreamHack after party when we talked about DreamHack, because I have some things to tell.
Oh.
And by the way, I'm very disappointed. No one invited Jolizer. Come on, the guy's missing there.
What the? Oh, maybe
give
he
him
had to
some
go back to
burgers and
Korea.
some beer. This is in Germany. I'm pretty sure there's at least beer. Come on, give something to the guy. I'm like the biggest fanboy ever. I would love to see Jolizer playing on this this event, and apparently went back to Korea. Too sad, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe his burger house was back in Korea, so I don't know. Either that, or they were afraid that he was going to start stealing their checks or something. But that's alluding to something for a bit later. But yeah, Homestory Cup, guys, check that out. It's going to be epic, and I'm really interested to see just what kind of shenanigans there are. I'm really hoping that there's going to be a lot of, I don't know, trash talk or some goofing off going to be going on, especially since it's like kind of an in-house event. I really hope it's something crazy like that. But should we move on with NASL, and then we can finally get to DreamHack, because that's all I can keep thinking about is DreamHack. But I just want to get NASL wrapped up, and then we'll go for the DreamHack.
Go.
DreamHack, I mean, excuse me, sorry. See, it's already on my mind. NASL, we recently just saw some pretty big-time matchups here as we're getting into the playoffs here for the first season. And especially one matchup I would like to speak of was Idra versus Zenio.
No, you want to talk about that? Oh, I don't believe it. Okay, go on.
Idra versus Zenio, I mean, we know these guys have a history. We know how Idra plays. We know his attitude, and the guy is fiery. And he was playing Zenio, and you know how Idra said before he's going to just crush the Koreans. This is nothing for him. And turns out as he's playing Zenio, loses the first game. No GG, just quits. And Hydra and I were talking about this earlier. And as he starts up game 2, Zenio says, "What happened? No GG?" Hydra says, "Earn it." And I thought that was hilarious that Idra would tell him to earn the GG, and here Zenio is just mopping the floor with him. But for me, that was just the highlight. But Idra, I mean, getting everything switched. Hydra, why don't you discuss the playoffs here, and I'm going to get the VOD up and rolling.
I'm going to be really brief here. These playoffs are to provide players to a chance to grab the last seeds for that final battle, the round of 16 that's going to happen live. And we do see there with Zeno and Idra. Once again, as you guys know, these guys are big contenders. Both of them very solid Zerg players, but they have kind of a quarrel between them. Comes back from the days Idra was staying in Korea, and that threatened slap that Zenio did to him. And I think it was even before, because Zenio commented several times that Idra was offensive to him on the ladder and so on. And what actually happened was that Idra faced Zenio here again. All of that shenanigans happened that the Iceman was just commenting on, and Idra lost to 0, got totally trampled. So Zenio grabbed seed 11, and then we had for seed 12, we had Moro versus Sokka, Nada versus TT1, with Moro going over Nada on the semifinals and grabbing that seed 12. And then we had another playoff for the seed 13 with Ace versus Bratok and Phoenix versus Asuhobs, with Ace facing Asuhobs on the semifinals and Asuhobs grabbing that seed 13. And then we had another one for the seed 14 with Naniwa versus Axlav, Show versus Dark Force, with Naniwa facing Dark Force on the semifinal and Dark Force taking the win over Naniwa. This was surprising to me. I know Naniwa is just a beast at the moment playing Protoss. Dark Force He is kind of a dark horse. I know he's good. I already seen him play before, but he's not on the same level as other top gamers, at least not for now, maybe in the future. And for the seed 15, we had OGS MC facing Cruncher and Kiwikaki facing Moman. That resulted on MC facing Kiwikaki on the semifinals and MC taking that seed 15. Okay, now, the problem here with all of these playoffs, in my modest opinion, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a bunch of superstars here that basically got eliminated from NASL, and you're not going to have them on the live event. And this might kill the views. This is my opinion, just from the top of my head and checking all the tabs again, all of the playoffs. Idra is not going to be there, eliminated. OGS Nada not going to be there, eliminated. Startail Ace not going to be there, eliminated. Naniwa not going to be there, eliminated. And Kiwikaki not going to be there, eliminated as well. So we have here several names that I'm pretty sure people would like to see on that final live event. And obviously, the players that won those games, won them, it's just totally deserved. I'm not even questioning any of that. But guess that this NASL is starting to kill a lot of superstars on the process. And let me just add this mention that I'm not sure if you guys followed or not, but I did watch the Naniwa versus Dark Force battle. And in the end of the final game, when Naniwa realized that he was lost and he couldn't take a win, before he typed GG, he just said, "Finally, I'm out of this tournament. GG." So it felt like he doesn't even want to be there. Just, I don't know. NASL it's starting not to feel as right as it's supposed to be to me personally. You know, like when players are having this kind of attitude, not going the right way, I would say. But we'll see what happens on that top 16. We do know that everyone will have to fly to Los Angeles to play the live event. And hopefully we're going to have a nice clash. There's obviously a lot of really good names that are already qualified. I'm just a bit sad to see Idra and Nada and Naniwa getting the short end of the stick and not going to be able to stay there. Unfortunately for NASL, and I think it's unfortunate for us, the viewers, as well.
Do you mean, Hydra, that it would be better if they had the playoffs, all of them taking place online at like a huge yet minor event in California? That would be the preferred format then.
Maybe, or I don't know, maybe, yes, maybe the live event part be longer, so we can have a lot more matchups live with most of the big names. Yeah, Sebastian, maybe that would make sense, but obviously this is from a viewer's perspective, and all of that implies money and investment, and NASL knows best. I'm just commenting from the viewer perspective, that's all.
I think we all would like to see another live clash, but obviously there can't be too many of them. People need to practice and play on their own regional servers, etc. But there's a point to that, you know. The more live, the better. Otherwise, it's just one game, one match.
I can sort of see where you're coming from, Hydra, but I can also see, I mean, NASL is an organization, so from their standpoint, they got to do what they got to do financially and what's feasible technically, you know. I mean, from a player's point of view, we always want the most epic matchup, the most insane matchup, but sometimes that's not a viable option, and especially in NASL's case, this is their first season running, so, I mean, a live event for a premier, I mean, this is their first running of the season, so it's like the premier event for them. It's quite a big feat as it stands, but, I mean, as you said, people who want to, you know, tune in for to see Idra battle and BM people, I mean, they're going to miss out on that, but that's not really anything NASL can do. That's Idra's fault, so
yeah.
I don't think you can blame the organization. But
no.
That was interesting what Naniwa did say, because that does imply that there is some problems behind the scenes that we are not aware of, that the players might be experiencing that could be deterring or hindering the success of this event.
Yeah, well, from the top of my head, I can just imagine Naniwa wanting to play on other events and don't lose the time with NASL. I don't know. Maybe just got other tournaments that he knows he can rack up money. And obviously, no one lives out of thin air. You need money to eat and to pay your monthly bills. So maybe Naniwa is just thinking about, Jesus, I've been doing this for so many weeks. Just good riddance. With this amount of weeks I've been fighting here, I'm just gonna go for several other tournaments and get some money.
Yeah,
maybe that's the reasoning behind it.
I think that's the more logical reasoning here, because NASL as it stands is an event that requires a large investment of time, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for these players such as Naniwa, who can get his hot hands in multiple events, being locked into a one sort of seasonal tournament type thing that lasts for a few months just for a shot to get into the playoffs and then a shot at getting money. For him, that's a
Yeah.
low reward situation. He'd rather be in those high risk, high reward situations, it
Yeah,
seems.
possible. Quite
But if
possible.
I can add something to that, first of all, many pro gamers, and I met most of them this weekend, have a very limited understanding of money, earnings, and how to make a sustainable living from what they do. Not mentioning any names, most of them are very good at this game because they choose to withdraw from the ordinary world and focus entirely upon one thing, making they're not businessmen, is what I'm saying,
Hmm.
and that is the sad truth that somewhat limits the expansion of this sport. Because if they were better at using the celebrity status that they now possess, they wouldn't have to win tournaments to make money, so they could base their playing on other reasons that would result in more entertaining games for us to see. And also, it means this sport is currently perhaps not able to really pay players the kind of salary that they need to be comfortable. Pro gamer salaries in Sweden are not high. You can live of it, but that's it. And you have to win one of those rare and very difficult tournaments to get sort of richer. And there needs to be another way. There needs to be more sponsorship, more lucrative avenues of earning that doesn't involve fighting the world elite every week. I'm talking about evolution here, and we need players that are more adept at business in order to get there. And some of the people you mentioned here are not that kind of material.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well said. That's coming at it at a different point of view, but a probably very important view that most people don't realize actually, because yeah, this is a sport, but it is a sport for these people to make a living off of. So
They must be able to do that in order to continue. And sadly, not many of them realize how they could. They are true nerds, more than most of us, because they're able to be. But the very hard fact is that they need to be so much more than nerds. TLO is a very rare example, as is Day 9, of someone who can see the bigger picture. We need more pro gamers to step into that role, take control of the ability they possess to influence others, and that way everybody could be making more money and provide entertainment for the rest of us. However, that's another discussion for another time, I think.
yes, that wraps up our coverage of NASL. And as Naniwa said, thank goodness we're out of this tournament because now I can get to DreamHack, and this is exactly what I wanted to get to.
So bad.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
go on.
Almost as bad as all those Raiders fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, tell the story. Tell the backstory on that so people know.
No, you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
I was just making.
I'll just say it real quick.
Yeah, go.
Before the show, Hydra and I were just having some talks about sports, and he was raging about NFL coverage. He wants to know what's going on in the NFL, and he was just talking about. Then I told him that there's the possible strike next season, and he said, "No way! Come on, man! It's not gonna happen. You've seen all those L.A. Raider guys with all the spikes and the barbecues. They're gonna go up to the NFL and just bash on them with that stuff."
You know,
But
it's Oakland, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Oakland
But you
Raiders, right?
said L.A. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I
Oakland.
said LA, yeah.
But that was hilarious.
Nah, that's not going to happen. We're going to have an NFL season, or else all those guys with the big barbecues outside of the stadiums and the spiky guy from the Oakland Raiders, they're just going to go on the NFL headquarters and destroy the place. So that's not going to happen. We're going to have an NFL season. But moving on. Never mind.
Yeah, that's gonna happen if we don't get the dream hack here. But
Yeah, go for it.
I say let's jump in straight away. Unless Sebastian, you want to set this up for us and create a little bit of a backstory, and let's do that. Let's have you explain the event and just how things were over there because you had the first-hand view. And I'm just gonna get this nice picture up here with Pedo Bear of of Bratok.
Well, Bretok always has that menacing look to him, but I guess it works on his favor on the community. Everyone knows who the guy is. But yeah, he does have a style, a different look, especially compared with all the other guys, Whiterye and Hydra and EG Machine on that picture. He's a bit different. But okay, let's keep it positive. Okay,
Yeah.
move on.
Let's just set it up for Sebastian.
Well, picking up where you left it with the Oakland Raiders, that kind of fan and that kind of demographic are not present at DreamHack. People are very soft and timid and allow pro gamers to sit behind a very tiny little fenced pro gamer area where you could, say that you really wanted Brattok to win. You could, as a fan, go and hit Soke in the head with a newspaper, and that would be GG. There's some improvements can be made to the sort of little habitat thing they call pro gamer area. It's hardly the sort of gladiator stage that I would like to see. But staying on the positive side of things, DreamHack was amazing. I've written 3 chronicles over at esfiworld.com. Explaining my thoughts for each day in more detail, but essentially this was a great international chapter and a step forward in terms of international esports. As I see it, there is no official World Champion League here in Starcraft 2, and Starcraft 2 is definitely the prime esport these days. Counter-Strike, it will always be there, but it is no doubt that Starcraft 2 is carrying the flame and creating more fans to the sport as we speak. And GSL, MLG, DreamHack, a few other events, IEM, that is the World Championship. That is the scene where the international players all over come and gather, and whoever wins the latest one is more or less the world champion, or at least the top 4. And that is a whole new thing. A year ago, this did not exist at all, but I got to witness July Zerg, MC, ST Bomber, and other legends, like indeed Grubby, who I respect immensely, Soke, of course, all the Team Liquid guys, and so many others, Bratok, all of them being there in the same place, playing. And there was this pro game area with 8 computers on one side and then a tiny wall, 8 on the others. That was the pro gamer area, just in the middle of everything, and fans could gather behind them and watch. People were too polite to not bash their non-favorite in the head. And just next to that was Total Biscuit stage that had actually like 4 or 5 rows of seating in front of it, and their TLO and even MC did some go-casting. And then separate outside the main convention center, Day 9 had an actual tent of his own, maybe 100 place seating, where he and the Apollo did, and everything, or at least half of it. Total Biscuit did the other half of the brackets. They casted from dusk till dawn, or rather the other way around. And surely there were a few improvements there. When it was bright outside, it was a white tent. It was impossible to see what was going on the screen. But when it started raining, the grass turned to mud. But other than that, you could finally see the screen. So infrastructurally, there were room for improvement. But none of that mattered when we reached the grand finals on Monday, because then we had seen Moon. He had already been defeated by Huck once, claw his way through the bracket, uncalled for. When ST Bomber took out MC, I was so happy, because that meant it couldn't be a mirror match final. And then I saw Huck defeat my favorite legend of all time, July Zerg, earlier that day, casted by Day 9, I believe. And whilst I was sad to see the God of War go down, I was so happy that there would be a foreigner in the finals. And I was there in the finals. Me and my co-caster Ominius, we did it in Swedish, and we worked for a really, really good production company who really allowed us to do it our way, and then gave us just all the support we needed. And I actually insisted upon us having all the maps that will be featured, so that they could put that on the screen for the viewers. This was only available for Swedish viewers for the National Broadcasting Online service, so that we could talk about, this is Selnaga Caverns, this is Shakura's Plateau, and just give a little bit of insight about the maps. And that is something I feel we should really have more of in the scene, map analysis ahead of games. And we're going to talk about I'm going to let you guys get in now, because I'm doing a very long monologue here. But watching this live, casting it live, it was the coolest thing I have felt in years. I must admit.
That is really awesome. I mean, I'm just imagining the picture in my head. Just, I mean, as you said, those little things, those are annoyances, but as long as the annoyances were not something that messed up or interfered with the player's gameplay, I don't have a problem with that because those are things like things where it starts raining and you're in the tent and the ground turns to crap. I mean, those are events and things that you're going to remember. You got to be like, oh, remember back in DreamHack Summer event, 2011, you know, when this happened, when that happened. Those are the things
Mm,
that create the tight knit camaraderie and the stories. But
yeah.
Yeah.
man, awesome! Sounds like a completely epic event. I wish I would have been there. But let's roll through the group stages rather, and then let's get into the brackets, and I'll play some featured VODs here, and we can discuss the gameplay actually.
Yeah.
So why don't you
Yeah.
guys take turns going through the groups? Hydra, I'll let you take care of the first four, A, B, C, and D, and then
Yeah.
Sebastian, why don't you cover groups E through H?
Happily.
Well, opening the groups here, as you guys can see, I'm not going to dwell much about the results. Everyone can check them on the screen anyway. But the groups were stacked with superstars, with very solid players, and we got some players, just a few, that every matchup that they sat down to play, they took the win there. One of them was Naniwa on Group A, 5-0 on the group, followed by Liquid Red 3-2, and Straylock really close to him 3-2 as well. Then you had Jimpo, Homeboy, actually a fairly well-known player, but he still needs to work on his play, I would say, because he plays frequently on the online tournaments here in Europe, but still haven't rise to the occasion on any of the big tournaments. And then, well, Liquid Tyler, I'm not sure exactly what to say more about Noni. He was a big reference when StarCraft 2 began. He was one of the main dudes, the main heroes from Brood War, from the foreign scene. And, well, in StarCraft 2, he hasn't been doing so well. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him, but he got crushed here. Basically trampled 1-4, and Moman 1-4 as well. Then on Group B, you had Bratok leading the way with 4-1, and the same result for Sokka. 4-1 as well. And the disappointment for me, Dimag and Moro. Demago with 3 wins, 2 defeats, and Moro with 2 wins and 3 defeats. Ended up these 2 monster Zergs to be stuck outside of that final stage of DreamHack, and they got eliminated on the group stage. A bit disappointment for me. Ninetend and Dystar finish up this group with Dystar not winning a single matchup. Bit
Ouch.
surprising. I know that Dystar is not like the top player, but he's quite good. Maybe he's just a bit shell-shocked for being on such a big event. Maybe he's not used to it. Hopefully you're going to see more of him in the future. Then you had another homeboy, Saza, taking the win 5-0, showing us all how things are done in Sweden, and also a sign that he's just on top of his game at the moment and might be the right opportunity for him to consider fly to Korea and try at least to get a spot on Code A. He was followed by Grubby, 3-2, and Idra. Those standings there on Group C are incorrect, by the way, from what I can see,
Yeah.
because Idra got second place and Grubby got third. Idra got qualified and passed to the next phase. And then you had Mers, Nama, and Kaz with 2 wins, 3 defeats for Mers, and 1-4 for Nama and Kaz. Well, bit disappointed there, especially with Kaz. Kaz did quite well on the TSL, and I was hoping to see more of him here on the DreamHack, but no, he just disappeared. He faded away very quickly on this competition. I mean, like I was mentioning on the when I started commenting on these groups, the groups were completely stacked. Some very, very difficult opponents, and I guess that Kaz wasn't able to resist it. Then last group there, Group D, with OGSMC, another of the players taking 5-0. No one was able to defeat him. And Sen, Fnatic Sen, behind him with 4 wins and 1 defeat.
Yay,
Followed
Sen.
followed by all the eliminated ones. Cloud, Adele Scott, TT1, and Nogrim. I mean, Nogrim didn't even took a win. Him and Dystar, well, they weren't on their days, I guess. There wasn't their lucky day. And TT1 surprised me a little bit. I was hoping to see more of him, but 1 win, 4 defeats, not good enough. And yeah, with this, we had from Group A, Naniwa and Ret qualified. Group B, Bratok Sokka, Group C, Saza Idra, I'm sorry, and Group D, MC and Sen. So a very solid lineup starting to form here. That was followed by the results on the next groups. Sebastian?
Yes, indeed. Of course, the group D, or rather group E,
E, yeah,
E would be mine. Yes, indeed. Was a very interesting one, featuring, of course, the eventual winner of the whole bracket, Huck. And I believe in the towards the end of the tournament, after all the group stages, he was it 10 or 11-1, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
He hardly lost anything. Similar to Moon, who lost a bit more, but nevertheless clawed his way through the whole bracket. I remember actually watching the Huck Lalush games at some stage in the tournament. I think it was on the Sunday. It was a really long one on Shakura's Plateau that I really hope to recast. It was beautiful, Broodlords and everything. Tarzan, of course, being up there as well. I don't think I caught any of his lives. Similar to Swedish player Bishu, who I did hang out with a bit after the after party. It may look like a huge brute and being tall as a tree, but he's actually a very competent guy as well as a player. And whoever Fury was, I didn't notice his shirt or what he was, but he clearly quickly evaporated from the whole event anyway. On the other side, we have Startail July, the very god of war, who I was hoping that. I mean, in the semi-finals, we had Huck July. That would have been a finals to talk about for
Sebastian,
ages. Yes.
real quick, were there burgers at the event?
No, they only had poor whoops.
They didn't keep him well fed. They didn't keep July well fed. The guy was feeling weak and lost his concentration, his focus. Just kind of backstage maneuvers are just a shame. I'm sorry, Sebastian. Go on.
I actually shouted out when Huck won over July. I gave the man a hamburger.
Oh, I heard that on the stream.
July.
I watched that, and I heard somebody say something about a hamburger, I think.
That could very well have been me. As consolation, of course. Seeing him go out because he won he took third place, didn't he? Yeah, I didn't watch it, but so not bad. But I would have loved to see him in the final against Huck, but the brackets didn't allow it. But of course, he did very well for himself. Hasuobs getting out of Group F very nicely. Also a very nice guy. And me and Hydra and also you, Iceman, I believe, will be casting some material that will feature Hasselhoff in a very exclusive way. And of course, my main man, Thor Sane, as well as Show, who's also a super dude. He sells his own shirts over at the Dignitas website called It's Showtime. Yes, very funny joke. Sadly, Machine from the States didn't do too well, and he was not looking too happy about it. He and Idra, well, of course, Machine did somewhat worse than Idra, but none of them really represented EG as well as they would have liked to. But he seemed nice. I didn't get to speak to him, though. And this guy, Sushi, I believe, was invited for some sort of separate exchange or event. I'm not too familiar with him, and maybe this wasn't his arena. So that's me talking about the names that stand here on this list.
And only missing
G&H.
G&H.
Yes.
It's the only ones you're missing.
That is, of course, featuring the very Grandpa Toss himself, White Raw, who got himself out of that group, and he played very well throughout the event and always took time to talk to the fans. And was as lovely as ever, you know. And he brought the wife this time as well. She seemed just as bored, but I heard that he did that during winter as well. But apparently they were going to go and see Gothenburg afterwards, and that's a very nice city. Preddy from Czech Republic, he did very well at the event, as you can see here in the standings. He took out some strong names. I don't recall any particular ones, but I remember watching him play a very good game. Was it against Jinro, perhaps? I think it may have been. A very strong player. I was impressed by him, and I hope to cast him more in the future. Then it was Goody, who we all know, of course. He took down some of the Liquid players, I do believe, as well as this Israeli player, Osho, that, I saw him, but for me it was an entirely new name. And Liquid Jinro.
What to say about Jinro? huh? What to say about him?
Yeah.
Well,
Can you
I
elaborate
can
since he
shed
is your
some.
countryman?
I can elaborate a bit actually, because I inquired. I mean, he lost fairly early, as you can see here, almost being the sixth spot in his group, and he did not advance. And I think that was clear already on the Saturday, the first day of the event, and he just disappeared. Completely just disappeared right afterwards. So I asked Bumblebee, the Team Liquid manager, alongside Nasgul, what happened. He went back to Stockholm to practice for Homestory Cup. He does not deal well with losing. And
Okay.
I didn't see Jinro at the moment he was losing, because the casting of day 9 took place far away from the pro game area. But when I got back to hopefully speak with him, he was gone. He just drove all the way to Stockholm and tried to deal with his demons. He can't take losing too well, apparently.
Mm.
Okay, so last group H.
Group H, Startail Bomber, who would finish DreamHack by taking out the very MC in what was a very epic game. Of course, that's much later, but I remember he making his Marines dance at one point using manor mules and everything. So he was, of course, a true powerhouse in the whole tournament. Mouse Mana did very well as well, and of course. He, um, he qualified last year at DreamHack Winter through the Bring Your Own Computer segment. Now he came back as a pro, and I'd say that he delivered. Considering the competition, he went very well. So other than there, we had Hey Pro, who didn't reach very far, and that was sad because this was Saturday, and he got out on the Saturday, and that was Hey Pro's birthday. So we went out afterwards and gave him a bit of fish to eat at a hotel restaurant. It was as epic as we could make it, and it was a bit sad for him. I would have liked to see him proceed. Then we had Happy. It was, of course, quite a famous name. I remember him taking down some big names that day, but didn't go too far. Similarly to X-Lord and Sarens, who I hang out with a bit on the after party. X-Lord, he was huge, an enormous guy. That's all I can say about him.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah, this group.
that was a very good
I'm
rundown of the group there. Sorry, go ahead, Hydra.
Let, let me just make a comment. This group was, as you can see, really close call. Like you have 3-2 wins, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. So it was like till the last second, someone could grab that second spot. And then light years ahead, you had Bomber just winning 5-0. But the rest of the group was just fighting their way, trying to get a spot. So you had like Hey Pro, Mana, Happy, and X-Lord. All of them had the chance to grab that second spot. So close call there and a very solid group.
Yeah, Hey Pro could definitely have won because he threw away his games. He messed up, definitely. Bad calls from his part. Very sad to see.
Yeah, sad
Yep.
to see indeed. But the excitement does not stop there. It only wound up and got even more epic as we moved into the playoff brackets. And I'm going to get the VOD rolling here and have some select games from some pretty big name players here. And Hydra and Sebastian, I guess I'll let you guys go through that. And Hydra, we can start off with you, and you can talk about some select matches that you really loved. And then Sebastian, you can do likewise, and then we'll follow suit. So take it away, Hydra.
Well, for me, I'm a big July fanboy, so I tried to follow all July matches the best I could. And it opened the hostilities here with the July versus Mana. Was a close call. Mouse Mana was able to take a game from July. I'm pretty sure he's not going to forget that. And to not put this in such a situation where you think that Mana was light years behind what July could do skill-wise. No. Mana played really well, and he stood a chance there. There was a moment that I was really fearing for July and thinking that Mana would be able to take the victory and just eliminate him here, there. But no, July win 2-1. We also had the Pretty facing against Huck. A clear win there by Huck, 2-0. Sokka versus Ret, I also recommend this series, was really cool. Two of the top Europeans battling there with a 2-1 result, so close call. They played the whole best out of 3 to the ace match. Saza faced Sen, but Sen just was no match, 2-0 over Saza. And then we had one of the matches that everyone was waiting for. we had OGSMC versus Hydra, and boy, everything was hyped up to the max because basically people want to see what would happen after the series, the extended series that was played back in MLG Columbus. I mean, if you guys remember, Hydra won the first series 2-0 over MC. Then they were able to play an extended series. And on that one, MC took 4-0 over Hydra, and it was a big hit. And especially with the way Hydra lost those games, something wasn't going right for Hydra on that moment. And it felt like he was a bit out of balance, or he was feeling the pressure, or I'm not sure exactly what the posture is. I do know that Hydra tries to show, at least to show to the exterior, that is very cool, very cold, very self-centered, but I'm not sure how things were inside him. It felt like he was in a turmoil because he just started GGing really fast and couldn't handle the pressure. So MLG Columbus ended up with that huge hype match that everyone watched, and now people wanted to watch again Hydra versus MC. So we sat down once again to watch it, and again, Hydra got stomped 2-0. First game, in my modest opinion, it felt a bit like he GG'd a bit too early. That's my feeling. Okay?
I felt the same way.
I know that Hydra wasn't ahead on that moment. I realized that. I know that MC was doing well, but still, Hydra, I'm not sure if he couldn't resist a little bit longer. But well, he didn't. He just GG, and there was people, I was watching it on the stream, and there was people just commenting saying, "Oh my God, that was an early GG. He didn't even try it." But there's always the reasoning behind it, or where the player just feels weared out and tired, and just think, "Okay, I'm not going to strain myself on this matchup. I'm going to focus everything I got on the next one," and that could be the case. But then we got to game 2, and and he got trampled again. I'm not sure exactly how to put this, because what we saw, and there was people arguing that he should have gone for this and this unit composition, but the fact is that when the final battle between MC and Hydra occurred, he had a bunch of roaches. His army was basically a lot of roaches. He was trying to get some Hydralisks out to back up, to make like a second line of DPS, because MC was going for a very stalker heavy army, and all of them with blink. And you guys know that Hydralisks, if properly defended, I mean, if you have some defenses to keep the DPS from them, because they're quite weak, only 80 HP, but they're able to put up a big DPS, and they put down stalkers quite quickly. Would be a nice composition there, some Hydralisks, some Infestors to back up the roaches. That would be the solution. But the fact is that things didn't went that way. When the final battle occurred, we had MC doing just brilliantly with his blink micro, had a ton of stalkers, and Hydra had a bunch of roaches. So when the roaches got finished, bye-bye, it's over. Hydra didn't have anything else and got forced to GG once more. So it was a bit unfortunate, in my modest opinion. I think that Hydra is valued or is worth a lot more than what he showed on those two matchups. But you know how things work at this level of playing. I mean, this is high-end gaming, and if you cannot handle the pressure, just get out of the kitchen, right? Is it like if you can stand the fire, get out of the kitchen? And it felt a bit like that. He couldn't stand the fire. Not sure if he was thinking about what occurred on the previous matchups. Don't know if it was the environment or... Well, I don't know exactly what was inside Hydra's mind, but things didn't work for him once more, and now he's stacking up 6 defeats against 2 wins against MC, both on MLG Columbus and on DreamHack. So, disappointment. I was hoping for Hydra to at least stand his ground against MC. Congrats to MC, another big win for him, especially against one of those massive opponents as Hydra is. Then after that,
Could I just
we had...
interject one thing, Hydra?
Go, sorry.
It just seems to me that Hydra in this case, because in the second game he read MC perfectly when he did that opening where he was moving into DTs. As we saw, there was a lot of focus on DT play for Protoss players in this tournament. But it just seems like Hydra doesn't know how to close it off when it comes to that monumentous battle. You know, the epic clash where the massive forces meet. And he just doesn't know how to close out the game. I mean, he did perfectly. He read the situation perfectly. He did really well with his build after that, and it just seems like he just let MC catch up, and he tried to force roaches, and he was behind on upgrades, and he just got, stomped on. It's frustrating to see him do well and then just throw it all away. Not throw it away, but he just, I don't know, he just loses where he's going.
I
And
think
if
you're
you
being both too diplomatic here. Idra pulls out prematurely, and to quote Tyler, plays like shit and he doesn't care. That's the way it is.
let me just comment that, especially on this game where you saw the DTs and the VOD is rolling now, Idra opened really well. He was predicting those DTs. He had spore crawlers to detect everything, but then he didn't make the proper transition. As you can see, he had a
Yeah.
bunch of
He
roaches,
plays like
but that
shit.
no, I mean, he had a bunch of roaches, all of them. He was trying to get burrow and tunneling claws, but it wasn't enough. And all of a sudden, he had a million stalkers on top of him, and there was nothing backing up those roaches. People were talking infestor play could be a solution. You would be able to stop the blinking,
How about
and at the same
Hydras?
time, grind down
Yeah.
the stalkers. Hydralisks would be another solution, but Hydra didn't win
Yeah.
for any of them. Probably didn't have
One
enough
unit
time.
only
So,
loses.
He got
okay,
Hydras way too late, and his upgrades were behind. I mean, okay, I was being
let me pass.
diplomatic. Idra
No,
was
let,
playing like, I mean, he does not play up to what his mouth plays.
Sebastian,
No.
come on. Sebastian, come on. Just share your thought with us, please, about this matchup.
No, it's precisely that. The games that Huck lost in the final was due to positioning. It was lost in a matter of seconds, and especially in one of them, he had a superior advantage, but Moon saw the tiniest possibility and maximized it, won the game. That was such high-level play. Here, Idra just gives MC the victory by moving with one unit only into a wall of force fields and superiorly upgraded stalkers. I mean, that is what people do on diamond level play. He's supposed to know better. Sure, he contaminated a gateway, or was it a Stargate or a robotics, but
Yeah.
And
whatever.
robotics, yeah.
Yeah, nice. You're not supposed to have one unit compromising your entire army. If you do, you suck. So Idra, he needs to, I don't know, go to Shangri-La, go out, get laid, play some baseball, whatever recreational activity works for him. But this just won't cut it anymore.
Well, I'm sorry, Sebastian, I'm sorry to say this, but I think it's the other way around. Because since everyone is saying, oh, Hydra looks buffed, he's ripped, yeah, he's working out with Machine. Well, both of them didn't do very well, so less workout and more playing, I would say. If they want to keep going on this line of work, I mean, if they want to go for the gym, go for it. But yeah, things didn't work out very well there, and a well-deserved win for MC. Also, another point, when these two games were on, the viewers on the day 9 stream was 86,000 people watching it.
Yep.
It's a lot of viewers, so respect for that. Well done. Okay, so now the following games here on this round was MC Hydra 2-0, Bomber defeating Asu Hobbs 2-0, White Ra getting crushed by Moon 2-0. I watched this series. I recommend it. It was really interesting to watch, and Moon was just solid the whole time. And Naniwa crushing Bratok 2-0. From there, we went to the round of 8, where Sock faced Huck, and no chance on this PvP. Huck just trampled over him 2-0. July on a ZVZ defeating Sen. This was an interesting series, by the way. I would recommend it. Though ZVZ, I know people are not big fans of ZVZ, but it was interesting to see how you react against someone playing the same race as you. And Zerg, as you guys know, is a bit unstable. People find it boring or say that players are always going for the same thing. So it's interesting to see the decision making at this level. And then you had Bomber versus MC 2-1. Very good series, very intense. I would recommend this one. I watched this one, I think it was yesterday,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Bomber made the Marines dance again in
Yeah.
MC's face.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but Bomber was nasty enough too. The moment he found out, well, he didn't found out, it was on purpose. But the moment he denied the expansion to MC or I think it was on Zalnaga Caverns, he even took his time to drop a mule and make the mule climb the ramp to the main base and make the mule just wiggle like dance, and then the mule got killed. And then he danced with the Marines and dropped more mules. I mean, he was just trying to put MC off his game and trash talk him. Well, not trash talk because he didn't say the word, but you guys know what I mean. He tried
Yeah.
to put MC.
And I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's fun. Come on, from the viewer side, it's awesome just to have a good laugh. But Bomber was just trying to throw him off his game as much as possible, and he did a 2-1 on a highly recommended series. Anyone that missed this one, sit down and watch it, because as everyone knows, DreamHack, as opposed to other big events, has HT for free. and leaves the VODs available for free. Not like other big events that at least state they're really big. But that's another thing. Continuing. Moon 2-0 over Naniwa. What can I say? I was hoping Naniwa to win over Moon. And Moon was just showing that he was so solid on this tournament and he was taking it as serious as possible. As you guys know, he's been struggling on the GSL for a long time. He's a Warcraft 3 legend and still didn't rise to the occasion on any opportunity that he had. So I guess he was just committed to show everyone that he had what it takes on this DreamHack event. And well, he did. He did. After that, we had the semifinals. Huck versus July, and oh, I got stabbed in the heart. I'm the biggest July Zerg fanboy, and he just got completely smashed by Huck. Huck just,
Good fight,
I don't know
though.
what to say.
Yeah.
Huck clearly was on God mode on this DreamHack, you know? He was just ready for everything. I'm pretty sure he trained a lot, he practiced a lot, and it showed that he was just able to face whoever would show up in front of him, and he just crushed July 2-0, crushed my heart as well, but I guess things are like that, and Huck had a well-deserved win there. Followed by that one, we had Moon versus Bomber, another very intense series. 2-1, with Moon once more resisting the aggression from Bomber. Keep in mind that Bomber is that kind of Terran that goes completely bonkers on drops and aggression on multi-pronged attacks, and it attacks a lot on your multiplaying, on the ability that you have to multitask. So, as you might imagine, Moon was just trying to focus the best he could to resist all of that offensive, and he did. 2-1, respect for Moon, he played tremendously well. And we ended up with this massive finals, Huck versus Moon. No one was expecting Moon to be there. Some people were rooting for Huck, especially from the moment that we only had one foreigner, or so to speak, called foreigner, that had the possibility to go to the finals, and you had 3 Koreans. I guess that the foreign community just didn't wanted the event to end up with, again, 3 Koreans on the top 3, so people were rooting for Huck. For good reason. Huck was playing very well. It was well-deserved. And he faced Moon here. I would like to have Huck versus July on the finals, by the way. Just saying. But that wasn't the case, and we ended up with some very close finals. Huck versus Moon, with Huck defeating Moon on the best out of 5, 3-2. And for anyone that missed the finals, please go watch the free HD VODs. You can sit down and enjoy them for free. Let me insist a bit more on this. But Moon, I don't know, we just felt like he threw the game off after a while because he was playing so well on the first 3 games. I mean, he had the lead. He got to a point where he was winning 2-1, playing some solid macro games with good decisions. And then all of a sudden, he just decided, wait, I'm going to 6-pool. And well, things just went down from there. I was discussing this with the Iceman before we started the stream, and I was wondering what went on his mind, because all of a sudden he changed completely his attitude towards this game. He was macro gaming, doing his thing, preparing a proper army, and then all of a sudden 6-pool. And I was wondering, okay, he wants to catch Huck by surprise. His past is from Warcraft 3, meaning that he has a very solid micro. Maybe he wants to micro the Zerglings one by one in such a way that we never seen before. But no, well, he wasn't able to defeat Huck, and Huck just took the memento and grabbed 2 more wins out of Moon to turn the table on his favor and win 3-2. Respect to Huck, well-deserved win. And Moon, please learn the lesson. 6-pool is interesting on some situations, and it's valid, but it kind of threw off your game on that moment. You just ended up being unbalanced, and for that last game, I think you were just really shaky, and it didn't pay off. Still a good result for Moon. I think it was the first time I see him going so far on Starcraft 2, so congrats to him. And he got, I think it was 30,000 krona, wasn't it?
It was 100,000. It was 50K, 50 Swedish K, which is like
okay.
$8,000.
Okay, so not bad still. Congrats to Moon and congrats to Huck. Both of them did very well. A really nice tournament. What you guys think, Sebastian?
Well, I do have a few theories about what went on during that game for respective players, and of course, I was there in the audience. I mean, as Day9 says, fanboy first, caster second. Among 1,000 live viewers sitting in the DreamHack arena, and this time the players had proper booths during winter they were just sitting there in the open like the Counter-Strike people do. Now we got proper booths, and Huck convincingly won the first game with a beautiful strategy that was well prepared, well executed, and then. Moon got back into the game, and both of the games that he won, they both played very, very well, first of all. And in the game on Crossfire, there he almost obliterated Huck with a mid-game push that was very severe. But Huck came back in the game, managed to take out the building hatchery with a one zealot, and they were fairly even in the later mid-game. But then he was moving out of his army, and he was in the wrong position, just a fraction of a second too long, and Moon managed to take him down. And Huck looked so shook up. I don't know whether that came out well on the stream or not. On our stream with our camera crew, I think we managed to show Huck's face, how he looked truly destroyed because he knew he should have won that game. He knew that he was the better player, but of course he didn't win it. So then Tyler walked into the booth, and whatever he said, whatever magic words he delivered, when Huck came back, he took a bit of a break. He had a completely different attitude, and he proceeded to win that game on Crevasse, and that was a very interesting game. We saw how Moon went for an expansion, then cancelled it in order to go for a quick push instead. But Huck, he did not scout it, but yet he felt it, he star sensed it, and he managed to defend the push properly, and then proceeded to kill with DTs. And I was shouting my lungs out when those DTs entered the fray. And by the way, if you are a Swedish viewer, you can watch the coverage made by me and Arminius, but that's only available to Swedes over at svtplay.se. And seeing that those DTs, because Huck, when he came in with the DT in the main Nexus, he did actually not attack. Like 2 seconds that aged for eternity when he did not attack, and I was shouting my lungs out. All that neutral, not being biased shit went right out the door. I was so Huck biased. Attack, Huck, attack! Hit him with the DT. I almost swore, which would have been wrong. And then in the fifth and final game, I was doing the normal talk about Teldorum Altar being a huge map, so you probably get to see a really epic macro game. And I didn't notice the six pool. So then my co-caster, he had the job of being the spotter. We had agreed that we do a handshake signal. We sort of wave in front of the other screen in the lower right corner when something happens. And I didn't spot the six pool because I would never have thought it that Moon would go for something that extreme. And then I realized what was going on a mini screen, and well, from there on there was only shoutcraft from me. He's going a six pool in the fifth game. That is at most a 33% chance of winning at Teldorum Altar, at most. And even then, the traveling distance is long if Huck spawned in the position where he did spawn, and Huck managed to scout the right way immediately. That was such a risk taking, and it made for such an epic final. I was so happy that all of the people who turned in to watch Starcraft for the first time on TV got to see this final, because we talked about the GSL Super final thingy. That was not as epic, and this could have ended to be like a CVC or a PvP. Would be over in 15 minutes, and 2 Koreans would have won lots of money. This was an entirely different thing. Huck showed that a foreigner can beat a Korean, showed that this is an international scene, showed that anyone can make it, and I think he made 100,000 new StarCraft fans that day from all over the world. That's what I think about this tournament, and I think Moon was scared in the fifth game. He knew that I'm not the better player. I need to win now or I will lose later.
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian, you said that so perfectly. Hydra was downplaying the six pool, but he said that he was anticlimactic play. For me, this was the most climactic final that could be, because I myself was literally shaking after game 4 when Huck took the win there and brought it back to the fifth game. I mean, myself, I was shaking from the adrenaline. And then to see the six pool go down, I was going nuts. I mean, I was rocking in my chair. I was going like shaking the table, and I was yelling at the computer screen myself. And it was down to the wire. I mean, that pylon almost got dropped.
Yeah.
And you could just see the ecstatic emotion on Huck's face when he held that. I mean, he was picking his hands up off the keyboard and holding his head and just like looking around in bewilderment because he knew if he defended against that push, it was his game. And
Mm.
as you said, I think Moon knew that he was in trouble. And I mean, I think if I recall correctly, Day 9 had said that Moon is he sometimes opts for cheese in these situations where he just wants to get the win quickly and stuff. He's a little bit known for that type of play. And for some reason, I kind of even felt that going to this last game, we would see some cheese from Moon or an all-in type build because already in the game previously, he got desperate and he went for an all-in strategy, and Huck defended it like an absolute StarCraft 2 champion. And then to
Yeah.
see this, in my mind, I was freaking out because not only were the spawn positions favorable for the 6 pool on this map, Tal'Darim Altar, but Huck scouted the correct path, and it just the stars were aligned, and the StarCraft 2 gods just favored this matchup because it was epic, and I was literally just running around the table when Huck won, and it was nuts, man. I
Yeah,
wish I
I
could have
know.
been there.
Yeah, you do. It was amazing. I mean, as we see now on the screen, when Huck won, the entire arena got up on their feet and they shouted,
Hmm.
"Huck, Huck, Huck!"
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
did too. I was on live television, and I stood up in my chair and I shouted straight into the mic that I was in front of my face, "Huck, Huck, Huck!" And my co-caster did the same. We couldn't contain ourselves. It was great. One of the greatest things I've ever witnessed, and it just shows what kind of capacity, what kind of pull this sport has. Allegedly, in DreamHack Winter, we will no longer be in the DreamHack Arena. We will be in the hockey arena next door with our 5,000 seats, and we're gonna sell it out.
Oh, that's
Oh,
gonna be
cool,
epic.
cool.
If that does happen, I might have to look into getting a plane ticket for this event because
Yeah,
I'm just
I
telling
think
you,
we
man,
should.
just watching it on stream was not enough. I wanted to be there so bad because the electricity in the place, you could just feel it radiating out. And I think, as you pointed out, for anybody who was viewing on live national television and did not know the game of StarCraft, I don't think the finals could have gone any better just to see this just epic down to the wire. And I mean, Huck to win, this was a well-deserved victory. We've seen this guy practicing non-stop in Korea, and he has just been working his way up over there. And yeah, it's just such a great story to see him win.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like he's really committed to his training, his practice in Korea, and he's kind of becoming, in a way, at least on his play style, he's becoming Korean. I mean, he plays with them, he lives there, he focuses on the GSL, he's Codas, and he has some tremendous practice
He's
partners
short
as
like
well
the
on Team
Koreans.
OGS. Yeah, like obviously he's not Korean, but his play style is slowly transforming into more of what the Koreans do, and it's starting to get obvious. I'm sorry. Also, seems like that the training methods and the dedication, the motivation, and the commitment that the Koreans have when they play this game, it's rubbing on Huck, and Huck is adapting well, and well, it's starting to show a win here on DreamHack. Congratulations to him. Also, a final comment. Like you guys were saying, and specifically those two last games on the finals, they were down to details. Like, attention to detail is something that needs to be very well taken care of at this high-end gaming, at this level of playing StarCraft 2, which is the peak, obviously. At the moment, there's not anything higher than this. And like you're saying, the Iceman, on the last game, that 6 pool might have worked if Huck had sent his probe down south. He didn't. He
Hmm.
crossed all the way around, and he crossed all the way straight forward to the right side, and he just ended up finding his opponent's base instantly. If
Left
he had
side.
like, imagine that he had like 15 more seconds, he probably would have had the chance to enter with the links. Maybe Huck had reacted 15 or 20 seconds later, and things would have been really different, very different. And maybe Moon was trusting on that, and the luck wasn't on his side. And on the previous game, on game 4, also, as you guys saw, Moon was getting his hatchery down, and then he decided to cancel and assault Huck, just make a push to Huck. The problem is that Huck never seen that hatchery going down, so he was wondering if Moon was preparing some kind of all-in out of one base, or big push out of one base, and decided to make a big wall with a lot of photon cannons. So Moon, by canceling that hatchery and deciding to push and throw everything he had to Huck, he actually fell into what Huck was expecting. And it was not the best decision making there, I guess. Still, Very well played, very interesting finals, and a tremendous event. To me, it wasn't still the best. The best for me, the one more memorable, was DreamHack Invitational, but this is amongst the finest I ever saw. And the fact that you get 5 HD streams for free, and you get an event of this size being provided to us with such quality without us having to pay a single dime for it, I don't know what to say. I just need to thank everyone that was involved in it. And also, I don't care about as many ads, as many publicity you want to spam on me while I'm watching the stream. It's all good. You guys deserve the money, and I'm just glad to be able to sit down and see something of this caliber.
Yeah,
Word.
word. But as you guys can see on the stream here in a little bit, the award ceremony is up there. But I thought it was really cute at the end when July Zerg went for Huck's check.
Oh, yeah, July just doing his thing. Just give me the check. Come on. I'm the god of war and I got a golden mouse. He's still learning. Give me the check. You're going to pay for the lessons that I gave you. Come on. And of course, July, look at him. He's just going there. Oh, cool, a check for me. He's just so used to have that, especially back on the days of Brood War. And he's just going, it's awesome. Yeah. See? And he's just saying, oh, Huck, damn it, you're looking. I thought you was with your back turned. I would just grab the check and run. But I guess that July will have better luck next time.
Yeah. But
He did okay.
Oh, yeah, okay is putting it mildly, I would say. But
Yeah.
third place victory. But man, epic event. Super awesome that you could have been there, Sebastian. Really great to have you back on the show and talking about it and relating all the adventures you had and all the electricity and excitement. It's good to hear all these inside stories that we wouldn't have heard otherwise. So I'm really glad that we held off and were able to get you on the show this week.
I'm very happy to be back. I'll be working very hard, both offline with stuff I have to do to survive, and even harder online with all the stuff that will soon be coming out of this channel, and that will, of course, include and involve all of GGRated in different ways. This has opened doors, and a lot of work remains to be done, but we definitely, behind the camera, I was very active, met a lot of people, and had a lot of fun, but also made many important connections. More awesomeness will be flowing out of GG Vision, and there will be more to talk about in the future, Iceman.
Awesome. Sounds good. And I'm looking forward to that because I know that we're doing lots of work behind the scenes and we have even more connections now. And it seems like we're right on the cusp of something really, really interesting here for all of us. And it's looking good. Putting in the time, putting in the work, and it looks like things are going to pick up and take off in a wonderful direction for us. So I'm looking forward to that. Any last words from you, Hydra?
All good. Just eager to start sitting down and watching the Homestory Cup, which begins tomorrow, guys. And you're going to have a free low-quality stream and a high-quality one from ESL that you have to pay something like €5, if I'm not mistaken. Still, I think it's more than worth it, on my personal opinion. You guys seen the lineup, the groups, so many nice players, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very intense event, especially for an online one. It's going to be a really big event, and having all of those players concentrated on a single place, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to see them just fooling around with each other, and that's always fun. It's nice to see the human being behind the keyboard, in my modest opinion. I'm always curious about it. The rest for me, just, well, if you guys want to take a look at my channel, feel free. I'm going to be uploading this GG-rated live show there as well, and my latest game is Spanishua against Chef. So an interesting matchup there with some cool players. Take a look at it if you feel like it, and let's get ready for GG-rated episode 21.
Yep, can't wait. And guys, if you haven't already, add us on Twitter, twitter.com/GGRated. Follow us on Justin TV. And man, stay tuned. Tell your friends about the show, and if they miss the show, get the podcast, subscribe to us. And we're going to be keeping the epic content flowing here, so Hydra, cue up that GG button so we can throw a massive GG shout out to Liquid Huck, who was our DreamHack Summer 2011 champion. And for the Iceman, myself, that is me, and our co-hosts here, Hydra and Sebastian, we are going to be signing off. This was episode 20. GG, guys.
GG!
GG!
See ya.
See you guys. Have fun.